Hello, the Femme Files podcast, the first episode, which is fun. We're going to be talking about post-grad life, if it's good, if it's bad, the differences between like being a student and being a real adult, I suppose. And we've got Niri with us today.
Hi! I graduated uni in 2023. I did psychology with clinical psychology at uni, and now I'm a TA.
Fun. So what were like the main differences after you graduated for you personally? Was it easy to get a job?
Oh, yeah, so I think like I knew I wanted to work in like a SEN school because I mean it's relevant to my course, and also I didn't really like mainstream schools, but it's actually really easy to get a TA role, I'd say, because I mean I got employed, like I graduated officially in September and then I was employed by October, but it was with an agency where basically like they like give you jobs in different schools and you just go and be a TA, and then I went to one of these schools and I really liked it there, and I kept doing it, and then eventually I got officially employed by that school, and like I think the agency is really good for like trialing like where you want to go and like see what kind of schools you want to go work in, but I think in terms of job security and also just like security considering the type of schools they are, I think being employed by the school is much better. You get a lot more benefits as an employee and better pay than with the agency.
What was it like mindset wise? How did you feel going from being in education and being like, oh, I could just skip my lecture today because I don't want to go into oh, if I skip work today, will I get fired?
Yeah, that was, I think firstly the biggest change was like freedom, I think, because I went from like living alone to going back in, moving in with my parents, which was kind of crazy when it first happened. And then yeah, like I think with that as well, like it is a lot more responsibility than, because I think when you're at uni it's very like independent, like you do your own thing, whereas yes, I have a certain level of independence now because I commute myself, I drive to work and back, and I have a whole job by myself, but while I'm there I work with a lot of people, so there's not as much responsibility on me to take on a lot of tasks, because I have a whole team that I can rely on. And also, because I'm a teaching assistant, like I'm always looking towards my teacher, the class teacher. So I think that's very different to when I was at uni, because like basically everything you do at uni is just all you. Like everything you produce, everything, all the consequences or rewards are all because of what you do, basically. So I think that was really different.
So you mentioned freedom there a little bit. Do you feel like you have, because I work full time while studying, do you feel like you have less time to like see friends and things, or do you feel like your relationships with people from uni are different?
Oh, defo, 100%. Like I think firstly, like you said, I have so much less freedom now because I literally like I work from 8 till 4:30, but by the time I get home it's 8 till 5. So then by that point, like after I've come home, showered, eaten, everything, like I barely have any time to myself, and I also have to do a lot of work related stuff when I get home as well. Like it doesn't just stop when I'm at work. So yeah, it makes it really hard to keep in contact with friends. So basically I like basically do all my socializing in the weekend. So but that's only 2 days, and it does make it really hard. And in terms of like friends that I have at uni, like it's very occasionally that I can meet them. Like even meeting you, like it's literally like once every few months, really. Yeah. Like it's really hard.
And we only live like an hour away from each other. It's crazy.
Exactly. But I think it's also kind of like when I do meet you, I want to be like have uninterrupted time together. So I'd like to like stay over, have a long day together. So I think that's what makes it hard, not necessarily like the travel and the commuting, because I don't mind.
Do you have any advice that you would give to people that are in like their third years and looking to graduate soon?
I think for me, my third year was my favourite year, but mainly because like my first year was COVID year, so I mean it was kind of.
Mine too.
Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Okay, shit.
I'm going to keep that in.
Yeah, first year was shit because it was COVID. Like, we couldn't really do much. And then second year, it was still a little bit of a COVID. And then third year, so that was kind of why it was my favourite year. And also, it was the most interesting modules in third year. I think my biggest piece of advice would be to really knuckle down in third year. Like, really, like, I don't really know. I think defo, make sure you have a work-life balance, but in the sense that, like prioritize yourself, because I think there's a lot of pressure when you're in third year, and also you probably feel a lot of like God, like I just want a break. But I think take the break when you feel like that. Don't like let it keep going. Like, don't strain yourself, because third year is rough. Like, the workload is insane. Like, there's loads more assessments and they all matter, and it's a lot of pressure. I think my biggest advice would be take regular breaks and like look after yourself, and make sure you're surrounded by good company. And like, by good company, I mean like stable friendships and stable people. Yeah. Because you'll need it. Like, you'll really need it to get it through. Because I think absolutely what got me through my third year was my friends. Like, my friends, and also a lot of self-discovery and a lot of time that I spent on myself, I think. And yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I feel like third year is a year where you start to sit and think about what to do next.
Yeah.
Like, when I did my third year, I knew that I wanted to do a master's at some point. So I was like, I'm just going to go straight into it now. It was the best thing for me, because if I took a year out or a couple of years out, I would have clocked out of education. Like, my brain would be switched off and I would not end up going back to it. And I feel like it's really important to make sure that you're looking at jobs that are, like, even if you're in like the start of your third year, start looking at jobs and grad schemes that are available, dependent on your course, obviously, for what comes next. Because I know so many people that graduated when I did and have struggled so hard to find a job in their field.
Yeah. I actually like relate to you, because when I finished third year, I was like, God, I'm never going back, never, ever, ever. But also I was like, but I really do want to do a master's at some point. So because I was so like wavering so much, and I felt so much resentment towards going back to uni, I was like, okay, no, I need to take a break, because I'm not going to be able to survive if I did another year. So then, I took a break and I got a job, but it's not really like the job I want to have. And
that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your first job out of uni is not going to be the job that you want for the rest of your life. It's about climbing your way up, especially with some industries. Yeah. You've got to work from the bottom, literally. Like,
and for any other psychology people watching this, it is so fucking hard to get a job in psychology.
It is.
But I think like my job right now is definitely relevant. Like, I still have relevant experience. But I also think, because I took the time out to, just do something different that isn't uni, now I feel a lot more relaxed. Now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go do a master's now. Like, I think, so I'm going to be applying to masters now, and like I'm applying to jobs, like assistant psychologist jobs, because now I actually have the mentality, and You've experienced
work for a bit, like the 9 to 5, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, sort of like
routine.
Yeah. Oh my God, the routine is the best thing about it. Being in a routine, because uni is so all over the place. Being in a routine is just so good.
Absolutely. So I think like that really helped me, and like, so basically don't feel like you have to like, go straight into a master's or whatever. But also, if you feel that that's the right decision for you, like Courtney said, absolutely do that. Like, I think really think about what you want to do in that moment. Like, don't force yourself to do something that you really don't want to do, because then you're going to struggle doing it. So I'm glad that I took the time out, because now I'm fully ready, like mentally and physically, to go back into education. So that's what I'm going to do next.
I think like the final piece of advice from this whole thing is do what you need to do. I feel like that's all that my blog, my podcasts are going to be about. You need to find what works for you and find what's best for you, and do what you need to do to survive. And I feel like that is what being a woman in this era of our lives, being in your 20s, being a woman, I think it's all about doing what you can to survive.
Yeah. And I want to add that, like, part of doing that is making a lot of mistakes.
Gosh, 100%.
Like, so don't beat yourself up. Like,
we've all made mistakes.
Exactly. And embarrassing ones, really bad ones that last a long time. Yeah. But they are what make you who you are, and they are what teach you what you like and don't like. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't beat yourself over whatever. Whatever.
See, mistakes. You make them.
Exactly. And we're moving past it because it doesn't matter in the long run, because you have your whole life ahead of you.
Exactly.
Just take it slow, be kind to yourself, and the most important thing is do what you want, love, because otherwise it's not sustainable.
Nope. Well, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching, for listening, all of that jazz, and we'll see you in the next one.